Welcome back to episode 95 of the Disorganized Wizard Club podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Well, not as always. I was
returning champ.
Sometimes,
I was gone the last 2 weeks.
Sometimes with Cam.
But hello.
We're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Most definitely.
Yep. Took a week off.
Yeah, I had a week vacation. Apologies to the listeners.
I leave and you guys just start slacking off.
Well, I feel
We
like,
did one episode.
Yeah, we did one as a two-man, and then we took the week off because we were busy. But also, I feel like that's the first week we've taken off in a long time.
Yeah, we've been pretty good for posting every single week.
So,
yeah, I don't know.
like, it might have been for the year of 2018, we haven't missed a week. I think maybe we missed
no,
one.
That's
not true, yeah.
We've definitely missed weeks.
I think only like one, though.
I think we miss
I don't
one
know.
like every month or two.
No,
not a month or two, but like every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
we go
I
back
think
and
that's fair.
check. I think we've been pretty consistent.
We can do the math.
Someone go back and check.
Keep us honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
The hardest working podcast in Magic. Out here grinding.
Just the real McCoys.
man, so many things happened though the past 2 weeks.
Missed last week's episode because I had a big bullet joke. I couldn't remember.
A lot of things happened these past couple of weeks. 4 standard GPs.
After a drought,
Yeah.
there had been no standard GPs
One
for
by
like so long.
One by 4 different decks.
That's
What? But there's only one. They need to ban Chain Whirler, and
Yeah.
there's no.
were there 4 different Chain Ruler decks? Like, is that the
No.
story here?
No, it's weird, right?
Actually,
But I thought they had to ban it.
I don't know.
There's no diversity. Man, Standard looks wild. It was awesome. We've been saying this for a
Yeah.
long time.
Every
Standard's-
top 8 was very, very diverse.
Yeah, the only one that wasn't as diverse was Providence.
Yeah,
which
it had 3 mono red wizards decks.
Yeah, but it was a small GP. It was like a 600-person GP. It's like got to be the smallest GP in a decade.
Yeah, like a very long time for sure.
Yeah, tiny GP. But yeah, lots of wizards and Flame of Kelt wizards in the top 8, which is kind of cool to see. This is like a new take on red.
Well, it's always been around, right? Like I feel like there's almost a version of this deck that top 8's every event. Like
Or
one
close.
copy. One copy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
somewhere, Like I think there was one copy. Was there one copy in LA as well? Nope. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, it just sort of floats in and out
yeah.
though. It's like a weekly thing. You know what I mean? It's like every other week or so, like someone does well with it. I think you have to run. Like,
there was one copy in the Orlando.
yeah. I think you have to run like incredibly hot with that deck to be able to, like.
I think yeah, for sure.
I don't think that deck's like great. One of the guys like top 8 profiles was great though. They're like, what's the best part of the tournament, right? And he's like resolving 2 Flame of Kelts because of playing one and then Vance's blasting cannons, playing another one. So the next turn drawing 5, and then the turn after that, all red sources dealing an extra 4.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so you just like play a 2 Chain Whirlers and they take 8 and all their board takes 8.
They take 10.
Oh yeah, sorry, 10. Jeez. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So like that guy's in the top 8 because that guy drew like a god.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but like, yeah, I feel like that deck is. I don't know, but like it crushed Providence.
Yeah. I mean, so 2 weekends ago, we had Orlando and we had Brussels, one by Esper and one by Approach. 2 control decks. And then the following weekend, we had Providence and LA, one by Red Wizards and Red Black Aggro. So kind of a interesting shift from week to week with the winning decks. And I was saying before the show, I think it's not really a surprise to see 2 aggro decks winning the weekend after 2 control decks show up and win.
Yeah.
That's like the general narrative, right? Is like that the aggro mid-range control like triangle that everyone always quotes.
Mm-hmm.
That like, yeah. As the format slows down, eventually you just go back to being quick again, which we actually don't think is exactly what's going on here, but it could be.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think normally, like, in a more, like, in a newer metagame, I guess, where red isn't so obviously dominant for like a year straight, that like it would be an obvious narrative. But like if you're playing control the week after control wins, like you still just have to assume that red is. You have to be prepared for red and red
Yeah,
black.
of course,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like
I don't think they would have been noticeably less popular at the GP that Esper and Approach won.
Right,
Like, it's been a dominant force for so long that like it's still probably 40% of the metagame or more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like honestly at this point, I feel like it's sort of a percentages thing of like, yes, X people play this deck and like Y people play that deck, and then whatever wins. Like I and I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I just think that it's sort of like I'm not sure that entirely that you can like meta game standard right now. Like pick a deck that will come in and just like clean house. I think your deck, you just have like generic sort of matchup percentages and you play well and you win or you don't. Like I don't think that like you come in with some deck that like the format has a hard time beating, or like you tune some weird list that's like so perfect that it matches up against everything in the tournament. Like I just don't think that's like what's happening in standard. I think people are just winning based on that's playing well and getting lucky. Like
Yeah.
I just don't. It's so weird to say, but I just don't think that there's like a narrative in standard right now. And I say that because it's so wide open. Like because all these decks are doing so well.
Yeah.
Like look at the finals of the weekend after. It's like red black playing blue black mid range. Like
Yeah.
And what's like striking about this is like where there's like Grixis mid range list in these top 8s.
There's a couple actually.
Well, there's a couple like sprinkled,
Yeah.
but like you sort of would think. My point of it is like I think people generally is like, well, Grixis took over from blue black, but then no, it's still there, and like people are just playing whatever. Like that's just kind of
Yeah.
how it feels. Like like we were talking about before the podcast started. Like red is obviously the best color, right? Like
Oh yeah, of course.
like
Yeah.
red is just has the best cards.
Yeah, and it will be until things rotate.
Yeah,
That's not changing.
but anything else can still win. Like
Yeah, for sure.
that's why I say like you don't really bring anything that's gonna like break the meta. You can adjust slightly, which we'll get to, like people have obviously done. But I mean, for the generic matchups of like I'm playing blue black, like what to prepare for.
Yep.
You prepare for red decks and control decks and the mirror, and like paradoxical outcome storm and whatever if you can.
That deck has really fallen off.
Yeah, I think it's just like
Yeah.
one of those glass cannon decks that once people realize how to beat it, it
Mm-hmm.
just gets stomped, right? Like timely like artifact removal spells, they just lose. Like like you just need to know when to time it. I think like glass cannon decks, when it's a timing issue, are like really weak, right? Like once people know how to play against them, they're toast.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I mean, there was a ton. So we saw blue black. It top 8'd Orlando 2 weekends ago,
Yeah.
and then we saw a bunch of copies top 8 this past weekend.
Yeah.
Undefeated on day 1 in Providence, in the hands of Edgar, Canadian guy. Just smashing people, and I think his deck list is really interesting. And it was something we wanted to talk about briefly today, as our topic was kind of recognizing decks that don't win and how they affect the meta, specifically the example being Turbo Fog, because this is kind of the deck that everyone has been talking about since the Pro Tour. A lot of people saying, oh, this deck's busted, it's currently broken, Nexus of Fate is a problem. I mean, Teferi is the good card in that deck.
If you don't think Teferi is the problem, then
We really, like, the metagame as a whole, you look at all these decks, they really have adjusted to face Turbo Fog. And, we've seen Turbo Fog top 8 a few of these events, but a bunch of copies in top 25s as well, but it hasn't actually won anything yet.
But it's still like a dominant
But it's
force.
still a very,
Like if you don't think that deck is like a tier 1 metagame deck, then you're like out of your mind. It like just because it didn't win doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like people are scared of it. Like people's sideboards and main deck card choices now reflect that change, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at Edgar's deck as a specific example, you have 3 Doomfalls, an Eldest Reborn. I think those cards alone are just a very big sign that you don't want to lose to Turbo Fog.
Yeah. Like it's a way to like stop Teferi. It's a way to get Teferi out of people's hands. It's a way to bring Teferi back from the graveyard. Yeah, just
Well,
like
yeah,
a bunch of,
you were saying before the show how busted Eldest Reborn is versus Turbo Fog.
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
It does actually everything versus them that you want, which is like stops their Teferi.
Yeah.
Or post board, more importantly, actually, it stops Carnage Tyrant for a lot of decks, like
Yeah.
control decks. I think out of like Blue, Black, and Esper, there's a good chance they bring in Carnage Tyrant against you, and that card, like more so for Esper control, obviously. And that card is, I mean, we saw it at the Pro Tour where Yam Wing Chun like played 2 Carnage Tyrants versus, I want to say it was like Matt Sperling or someone, or no, it was Shahar. Played versus 2 versus Shahar, and that was it.
Yeah.
Shahar just dead. There's nothing in it. There was nothing in his Esper list that could deal with it. And then he did it again to him game 3 after losing game 1 because it's a bad matchup for Turbo Fog game 1 for control. Like, you know, they have a bunch of fogs versus control.
Definitely.
So, yeah, Eldest Reborn, I like it a lot in his blue black list. I think that card is excellent actually in a lot of matchups right now. I think going after people's hands, you know, you get the mana back later. Yeah, so it's that card nuts. But
Yeah,
you can see his list is definitely refined. Like his sideboard even, right? Like if you scroll, like his sideboard is even kind of structured to be able to deal with it. Like he's Chases Defeat, Duress, Negate, more Eldest Reborn.
Glimmers. Yeah.
Like he's trying to turn into a control deck to stop them.
Yeah, and I think this deck has the advantage over, you know, a deck like Esper or something because it has better mana base. You can more freely play a card like Field of Ruin to shut off their Search for Escantas.
Yeah, Field of Ruin's a big deal.
Yeah, just having more lands in your mana base that come into play untapped just lets you line your cards up against theirs a lot easier.
Yeah.
How many basic lands are these Turbo Fog decks playing? Like, how often do they have to put a Gift of Paradise on a non-basic and you can Field of Ruin it?
I think they play about 8.
Yeah,
if
they
I'm
play
remembering
a decent
that.
amount, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 4 forests and 4 islands
But
is
like,
the normal split.
Yeah, they do it because I think they
4 forests, 4 islands.
they know better. Like if you play Gift of Paradise decks, like I have played a lot of them online with Sifter Room decks. Like, you are so reluctant. Like if my hand has both Gift and Spring, and I don't have a land, so it's actually better to cast Gift because I want to increase the chance I draw a land. Like so, I don't want to Spring and pull one from my deck, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't have a basic, I will cast the Spring because I'm not putting a non-basic because of Field of Ruin. Like hitting something.
I'm not surprised that they like skewed to play more basics because of that. I was just wondering, like maybe they couldn't actually play that many and have all their colors, but it's fine.
Although to be fair, like getting your gift land for them fielded early is probably fine, given that they would rather that than their search. Because their search is sort of their win condition, right? Like search for his kinds is like actually their win condition. But yeah, anyway, like that's another important part about playing blue black versus like Grixis is Field of Ruin is better on the mana base.
Yeah.
And you get like Field of Ruining stopping their Escantas.
Field of Ruin is huge.
Yeah, it's incredibly important.
Yeah. And you know, being a deck like this, you know, Glint Sleeve Siphoner allows you to attain card advantage early where a Turbo Fog deck, they're not sure they can fog your Siphoners, but you're still going to draw cards off them. And your Champion of Wits allows you to filter out dead cards like Fatal Push that you're not going to have any use for. So
Essence Scatters.
Yeah.
No, it's like I think it's a good list. Like, yeah, blue black's just a strong, just a working man's deck.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not busted.
No.
It's fine. It's just like strong. It's the definitive to me, like the definitive mid-range deck of the format. Like
it's very, very medium.
But it's a tier 1 mid-range deck because
it's been the deck that like tunes itself the most depending on what it expects and is able to find those answers it put in its deck and like can pivot to play any matchup it's playing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess in that sense, it's actually the tier 2 mid-range deck because the tier 1 is red black because red black actually a mid-range deck that can do that. You know what I mean? That can pivot better and like adjust way better.
Yeah, but I haven't seen. I guess what the point I was trying to make is I haven't seen red black tune as many cards as blue black has.
Yeah, that's true.
Because blue black has like a much larger suite of instants and sorceries that they play in varying numbers, where the red black lists are like, 45 to 50 card stock.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, they can play like no unlicensed, a bunch of phoenixes, no phoenixes.
Yeah, there still is a lot of.
They can choose between all the busted cards they have.
That's true.
Between the unbeatable 3 and 4 drops.
I guess they tune their answers more than they tune their threat, or the other way around. They tune their threats more than they tune their answers.
Yeah. Although lately, like the increase in cut ribbons, right, because of green decks.
Mm-hmm.
Man, green decks took a hit though. Hey.
How are they going to beat fogs?
Yeah. No, I think that's a huge part of it. I think that's why you've been seeing there's been like some experimental instead of, you know how originally when Weimar came out, people were playing the green-blue versions instead of
Kinda.
black because they were playing for like Botanical Sanctum or whatever, just for negates. And I think that's why people online I've noticed have been moving towards like.
I'm seeing more green blue now than anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying earlier.
They're moving towards, well,
Yeah.
originally that was one I was saying, like originally people were doing that and then they stopped because they were just like, well, Scrounger's better. But now, yeah, people are moving to green blue because they need counterspells because otherwise they just can never beat Turbo Fog ever in a billion years. Like, right? Like,
Yeah.
they just can't do anything.
No, you're right.
So, but yeah, green just back to having a hard time because like Cut to Ribbon's so good against them, Turbo Fog's good against them. Poor Guffers. Like, it's tough for them.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, it's still a deck that
No, it's still
exists,
definitely a good deck.
You know, it's still around. It's I
I
don't
think-
know, like 4-5% of the metagame.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, like, Weimar's still a
There's still a very good card.
Yeah.
Like the green decks are still good, but I think they're good. Like all these things we've been mentioning that kind of push them out, I think they would be worse if they were more popular because people would just play more of these cards. The Esper decks would start actually playing Fumigate. I don't know why they don't right now, but like
It's
I
just,
agree.
I think it's just people afraid. Mana,
It's like in its-
mana
people are
considerations.
illogically
Being
concerned
very-
about the mana.
right, but you could do it. Like
You could.
and so I think green's like in this equilibrium of like if it was more popular it would be worse, but because it's as popular as it is, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, like if green won a tournament, that'd be bad for it.
Oh yeah.
Because like it's easy to hate.
Mhm.
It's just like the mono blue storm decks, right? It's like the minute they did well, they got just crumpled.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, that's pretty good actually that like there are decks like that make it so you can sort of metagame each week. But I think the kind of like standard tier 1 players are sort of established and known. And it's just sort of like from the recent standard GPs we've had in team events, it just sort of feels like, yeah, I mean, would you be surprised if any deck won at this point?
No, not at all.
Yeah, right? Like it's sort of,
I mean, we just saw 4 different decks win 4 different GPs over the past 2 weekends.
I'd be surprised if something won that didn't contain one of these like pillar cards, that didn't contain like Hazard or Phoenix or Chandra. It didn't have Scarab God. It didn't have a Teferi.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Right. Like they're not going to, but like as much as there is variation in the standard decks and more so than last format, they're still all built around the same pillars.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, like Chain Whirler.
Yeah. Like you,
The issue is like Chain Whirler just blocks so well too against green decks. I was playing like the GP from Brussels had that pretty cool deck in it.
like the bug one.
The Bug Explore deck. And I was playing that a lot. Cam and I were testing it, and like it's so funny. It actually has a pretty good matchup versus the field, except for Chain Whirler. It just has a bad red matchup because none of its creatures can attack or block a Chain Whirler.
Mm-hmm.
They all just get smushed by Chain Whirler. Like every creature in his deck besides Scarab God gets.
4 Scarab God. That's,
Yeah.
You got to find him.
you have a plan.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Scarab God is how you beat red decks. You just slam it on turn 4, and they hopefully can't
Yeah. Like
do anything.
I was playing the, as they call it, like mostly red aggro, where you have like 4 Dragon Skull and Scroungers, and that's it, and the rest is just mono red.
Yeah.
Against this deck, this like bug deck when Adam was playing it. And all the games were like pretty easy, except for the ones where he played a Scarab God on 5. And if I couldn't answer it with some combination, then I would just concede that game.
Yeah, the game just ends.
So like it's still favored for red, but you can't win those games when they have a Scarab God early. Like
If they curve even like with an elf, like turn 3 Chupacabra kill something, turn 4 Scarab God.
Yeah.
You're dead. Like the game's over. But if the bug deck doesn't have it there, they can never win in a million years.
right. And there's
Because like,
games where they fall behind so quickly. Like if they low roll on an Explorer and like their Branch Walker's a 2/1, or
You get
if
Chain
worst case
Whirlered.
scenario like Jade Light Ranger hits 2 lands, then you get Chain Whirlered, like it's over.
yeah, and that happened in testing like a couple times.
Yeah, because then they can
Cam
swing
also
past
just
Scarab
nut
God.
curved me like 13 games in a row.
Well, yeah, I was playing mono red.
Yeah, he just had like Soul Scar into like 2-drop into like 1-drop removal into Chandra Hazard every game. I was like, come on, stop.
You're leaving out the part where I also won all those die rolls.
Yeah, he also won every in our match, in our testing. Yeah,
That's a good strategy
Dude,
if
it
you're
was
going
a-
to play something red.
it was a beating, yeah. But no, like it's a bad matchup. Like I could just tell by how bad I got rolled. But the thing is that bug list is cool for anyone looking for like a unique mid-range deck. I played it versus like other decks though, and it has like pretty good matchups across the board actually.
It's there's an interesting takeaway from like, yes, the red matchup's bad, but the Scarab God is so unbeatable for red right now. And this is something you were mentioning that like maybe it's in reaction to Turbo Fog, maybe it's in reaction to other things, but red decks are leaving themselves open. Like we don't see Fight with Fire in sideboards anymore.
Yeah.
Like Scarab God is even better than it ever was now against red decks.
Yeah.
So if you find a good shelf for it, maybe blue-black midrange will have a resurgence or something. Like,
well, it did. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, and you don't see like the sideboard red-black decks anymore with like Hour of Glory, right? Or
There's some that are generally playing one copy now. And most red decks have cut down their unlicensed disintegrations to 1 or 2 copies.
And like 1 is not enough versus like a 4 or 3 Scarab God deck. Like 1 is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like Scarab God just actually like unbeatable right now. But yeah, this deck was fun. Wild Growth Walker's actually a legitimately hilarious card. Seems so bad until you play a Jade Light Ranger the turn after you play it, and then you're like, oh my lord.
Mm-hmm.
Against aggro, they just ought to lose.
Yeah, that was the other card I conceded to, and I didn't have a removal spell for
yeah,
it.
if he just didn't have the Abrader Lightning Strike for it,
You just die.
well, you play a Jade Light Ranger, gain 6, and have a 3/5, and then
That seems okay.
yeah, every subsequent Explorer you play gains you 3 to 6 life, and that's too much. Puts cards in the graveyard. You know what I mean?
And once they've explored once, now red doesn't have a convenient answer to it. I guess if there's one Explorer, you can Chandra it. But then whatever they explored with is going to kill your Chandra.
If there's 2 Explorers,
Then you're just out of range.
Matt Bertoncini
Speaking of 2
yeah, I was going to say Bertoncini top 8 this GP.
Man, Magic Twitter has been so grim the past couple of weeks since Hall of Fame voting started.
It always is.
Oh man, it's just all these pros calling out each other for being pieces of shit.
Yeah, it's just like as soon as Hall of Fame starts, didn't Patrick Sullivan have that tweet where he's like,
something.
as soon as Hall of Fame voting starts, everyone just calls all their peers cheating pieces of shit. Like everyone just hates each other.
Oh man,
And it's
so
like
grim.
so grim, man. Because like it's all these like lines drawn across like national boundaries and stuff too. Like all the Europeans like hate the Americans. You know what I mean? Like all you can see because like all the Americans are like calling like, you know, well never ever you can never ever vote for Saito. You know what I mean? Because like he stalled that one time, right? Like you know, you can never vote for like X person, but like you should put this American guy in the top 8 who doesn't have good results because he helped stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if the Americans are like so funny and like, but so are the European. Like everyone's so biased, obviously, and like it's just hilarious. Everybody like chirping each other.
It's just the purge. Like, I assume in Pro Magic, like, throughout the year, emotions run high. Like, you're upset you lost. You know it's not really your opponent's fault, but, like, you know, you're civil to each other all year. This is just their window for catharsis.
No, it wasn't a good game.
Mediated by the Hall of Fame vote. Just let it all out. Everyone understands that though it's personal, it's not, you know, personal. It's for the Hall of Fame. And then we can be civil the rest of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like Bertoncini's back as a perfect scapegoat, right? For everybody to just like dump their hate towards as well. Yeah, it's definitely a cathartic time for the for Magic Twitter.
Oh yeah, it's just been nonstop hate all across the board.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's not an enjoyable place right now.
Yeah, stay off the internet. Download our podcast where we stay positive. It's a positive couple of
24/7.
Yeah. Positive DWC.
Man.
Never a negative thing to say unless it's about WotC coverage.
Or modern.
Or Pauper. I had a miserable time playing Pauper this weekend.
Pauper.
But that's
I
because
had a great time.
I played Tron and I played a bad list.
I didn't play
Which
Magic
isn't-
for 2 weeks and then came back and easily 4-0'd.
Yeah.
What'd you play?
Well, you
Delver,
played
mono blue Delver.
The
Good.
Chad deck.
Nice. Good.
3/2 flyers and counter spells. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do, but
Sweet.
Dude, man, okay, so I'm gonna go on the record here and like say that the recent builds of Tron in Pauper are just unbelievably bad. Like I actively don't understand what's happening and how they're winning and why people are agreeing to play them. They're so incredibly bad. So you are, you know, a Tron expert. I
Okay.
think we would consider you one. I think you would probably consider yourself a Tron expert.
Many years of studying.
Yeah.
I'm an expert on turn 3 card.
The 10,000 hours. I got 10,000
It took
hours.
a lot of time, but you know, I
Play-
figured out how to turn 3 card the best.
The Pauper lists play 2 copies of Expedition Map. Not 4.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, that's just what they do now.
Dude.
Dude, I played it. It's so bad. The deck cannot win. It's so slow and bad if it doesn't have Tron, obviously,
Yeah.
because you're playing like Mystical Teaching, Forbidden Alchemy, like, Mull Drifters, et cetera, et cetera. And yet it only plays 2 copies of Expedition Map, and you just never get Tron, and you just die to like anything. Like Cam and I just don't understand. I was like, why? But I just went with the lists that my friend had put together, and that was like
It was
available
the
online.
same as the 5.0 from
And it was the
online, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, because at first when we were testing it, I was like, why is my friend playing like this is garbage? And I was like, there's no way that playing 2 Expedition Maps is right. Then we looked online, and like, so is everyone else. And I was like, I thought this was a solved issue, like, right? Like in
Yeah.
Modern, if I told you in Modern, well, no, like splash all these colors and only play 2 Expedition Maps, you just hit me, right?
I think
You would just slap me, I assume.
I think people got bamboozled by the fact that like it was already playing like colored cards through Prophetic Prism and whatever. Like it was already like a Mull Drifter deck. And then when Dinrova Horror got put into Pauper, everyone just went sideways. And they like saw that as a big mana threat for their Ghostly Flicker combo deck, fueled by Tron. And I don't think they viewed it anymore as a Tron deck. It's this thing where Tron is like your incidental, your engine, but not your like goal.
Yeah. The goal is to Ghostly Flicker Dinrova Horrors, right?
Right. But in doing so,
Like I
They,
won a game where I didn't win a game all day, but I only won one game where I like Ghostly Flicker Mnemonic Wall Dinrova Horde,
Mhm.
and just took away someone's entire board and like all their permanents in their entire hand over the course of like 3 turns because I had like 30 mana. But that was it. Otherwise, I sort of had to just like grind out wins in horrible, miserable fashion, or I got stomped because the deck's so slow and bad. So if you're listening to this and you're a Pauper player or a Modern Tron player, like never cut Expedition Maps. It turns out like the whole point of playing Tron is to do busted things with the mana early,
yeah, not eventually.
not on turn 13.
Who would have thought?
Dude, it's crazy.
What was the other card that Ancient Stirrings? They stopped or they're not playing it. I don't know if they ever were, but they're not playing it because they're playing more colored threats.
Yeah,
but like,
Yeah,
they don't play Ulamog's Crusher anymore. That's why. Like
Wow.
a lot of the lists, they sometimes play like 1, but I think the old Tron lists are better. Like I used to play a lot of Tron and Pauper, and I think it was better when it played just like big dumb idiots. Like it just played like 7 and 8 mana threats, like just big dumb cards, and just
what's that?
like Crusher is like a sweet card.
Wretched Griff. That costs 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we just casting Wretched Griffs and drawing cards? It's colorless. We can
I
find
don't
it
know.
with.
Because Mull Drifter's infinitely better.
Yeah, but it sticks around. And
So
you
does
don't
Mull
no,
Drifter.
right, but you don't need something to make a color. You just cast it for 7 when you find
Yeah,
Tron
but
on turn
blue's
3.
the easy one. Like blue's
Okay.
casting blue mana is no problem. And like, man, did you see that time where like I had a Mull Drifter in play and I had 6 mana and I evoked a Mull Drifter and then like trigger on the stack, like Ghostly Flickered both my Mull Drifters. So like it wouldn't sack to the evoke, like it
Yeah.
drew 6. Yeah,
Nice.
that's the reason you play. Like,
Nice.
yeah, okay. Yeah, dude, it was D's. I won that game.
But like,
The old 6 mana draw 6.
I guess I'm just
Right on.
asking, why is it a Ghostly Flicker deck, and why is it not more akin to Modern Tron, where it's a large colorless threat enabler deck?
Yeah, I think the reason
not
is
enabler,
like
but-
the large threats aren't as resilient as they are in Modern. So like Crusher can just get Doombladed.
That's true.
Like Crusher dies to Doomblade.
Rats.
Yeah, and it dies to like Chainer's Edict and stuff, right? Like it just gets snapped, vapor snagged.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
it just doesn't have any protection. Like you just have to hope it sticks, which is not ideal. Like, but the old Tron deck used to play a lot more creature threats, so they were able to sort of like eventually stick Crusher. When people ran out of removal, and then a single attack from Crusher is like game. But yeah, like it's just not as well positioned. Like I totally understand the movement towards like being a grindy control deck, I suppose. With like they play like a bunch of Condescends now, right? Like I get that. They're playing like, in Modern there's like the bad blue Tron.
Yeah.
That's basically what the Pauper deck is. But they've like moved so far away from even trying to assemble Tron, because even the like modern mono blue Tron is still trying to assemble Tron as fast as they can, right?
Sort of.
Yeah. I mean, they'll do stuff along the
Yeah.
way, but they still want to
Yeah.
cast Karns,
Yeah.
whatever.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean,
Play like 2 copies, I think.
yeah.
They're not trying very hard.
Yeah, I mean,
And I watched that deck sucks. That's why.
yeah, but they're still trying to, well, because they're really trying to, what's it called? Take all your turns, right?
The Mind Slaver.
Yeah.
But it's still a huge mana. Like, there's
Yeah.
still a big mana deck. Whereas, yeah, the Pauper version feels like they're just a kind of bad control deck with no real big threats. And that's, like, I get that in a world in Pauper where, like, threats are so efficient. You know, like, or sorry, answers are so efficient. You have, like, Snap, Doomblade, Chainer's Edict. Like, there's an infinite, man. Like,
Snap
removals.
is nuts.
Yeah, Snap is berserk. There's like so many good removal spells and interaction in Pauper that, like, yeah, playing with Wolmux Crusher might actually not be the best thing. So you have to play with things like Cloud, like sorry, not Cloud Blazer,
Muldrifter,
which is basically Cloud Blazer, but yeah, I don't know. Pauper is interesting, but Delver's like free wins. You should just play that deck.
You're playing like Spire Golem?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you have to play that card.
That
Were you
card's
still
deep.
playing Bone Splitter?
1.
Yeah, I told you that card nuts. Was
Yeah.
it good?
Yeah, you just build your own Delver sometimes.
Yeah, or you make a 4/4,
Yeah, also good.
which is good in the mirror.
Very good in the mirror. 'Cause
That's-
then you can attack past there.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's why I told you to play that card.
Yeah.
The crappy equipment.
Yeah.
Gives +2/+0.
Yeah.
Lets you win the mirror, dude. Because like
Oh.
they're 2/4s.
Yeah. Nice.
And it makes all your fairy miscreants or whatever.
Yeah.
They're 3/1s
Jeez.
with flying the nuts.
Yeah, Mono Blue Delver's sweet.
Yeah. It was so funny. I was talking to Curtis. I was like, yeah, the only downside with Mono Blue Delver is it plays actually a ton of creatures compared to like Legacy Delver lists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Curtis was like, plays 12 creatures. And I was like,
No.
No.
What list are you playing?
Got
And he-
Ninja, Sprite,
yeah, and
Fairy,
then he started
Delver,
talking through him. He's like,
Spire Golem.
oh, never mind. It plays like
Yeah.
26 creatures. I'm like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it plays so many.
Still
That's
flips Delver like really quick, like pretty reliably though, because
Well, you
you
play
have
what, like 15 lands?
yeah, 17. I
17.
think.
But you
17.
have Ponder and Preordain, which are pretty good at flipping Delver.
Yeah.
Those are good cards.
Yep.
But it doesn't flip as as often on turn 2 naturally
Mm.
as
Yeah.
you would in Legacy, or like if you don't have a Ponder Preordain, you actually can just like get stuck revealing creatures over and over again. It happens like way more in Pauper,
Mhm.
obviously, because it's double the amount of creatures as the Legacy version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I 4-0'd so easily, because it only happened to my opponents. Mine were like natural turn 2 flips.
Yeah, that's how people win tournaments with Delver.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody won with a Delver deck for the Star City Legacy for the team event, and so you know that's how he just probably flipped a lot of turn 2 Delvers,
Yeah. You're talking about the Death Shadow
Yeah.
deck? Yeah.
which is a Delver deck.
Man, apparently that deck's everywhere online now. It's like
Probably 'cause it's
all
cheap.
everyone plays. Yeah.
Yeah, it was people saw a
Mono.
Legacy deck. They're like, I can play this deck. Like,
Yeah. Still think the deck's sweet.
I might play it next weekend. Maybe
Play it where?
at the Wizard's Tower.
Oh, man, in unison.
Well, because it's a team event.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be on a team.
We're gonna be on a team. I'm not playing with my normal 12 Forcemen, I think. So, we were gonna play with the DWC team, but you have to work.
I do have to work.
We can live vlog our DWC team, but I guess that's canceled for now. But
Yeah. Rats.
We'll just call in a friend of the show.
yeah, we'll get someone in. We're gonna get a ringer
Yeah.
to play Modern, obviously, because Cam and I won't play Modern. So I don't know. I'm considering playing the deck in Legacy. Seems good.
It seems sweet.
Seems really sweet.
Yeah. Big fan of Death Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow's fun. Delver decks are good. It's
Get to play the best common creature ever.
oh yeah, big angles.
Big angles.
I like how we just have asserted that
Is that the best common
we
creature?
fired Delver.
Man, you did not listen to our episode.
No, I didn't.
Where Alex and I were deciding whether Delver of Secrets, which is like the clear
Yeah, one of the contenders.
tier 0, what's the clear, like I think everybody
Yeah.
would answer this is obviously the best common creature ever printed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus big angles, like Gurmag
Raven
Angler.
Inspector's pretty good.
But I think we decided that Angler was better because of its position in Standard, Modern, and Legacy when it was and Pauper. Like it's in all 4 formats. Like
Yeah.
he's playing all 4, whereas Delver's dead in Modern.
Right.
Yeah, it pops up here and there, but good old big angle still killing people.
That's true. That's
every
true. Yeah.
format.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
Standard, although like Tassiger eclipsed it still saw some play. But across Modern, it's in like a bunch of archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
right? In Legacy, it's in a bunch of decks. Whereas Delver's just Delver decks. Like it's like that's your archetype. You don't just like put it in decks, right? Whereas
All right. I'm convinced.
Gurmag Angler is like in Delver decks and control decks and mid-range decks, right? And like weird, random other like hollowed one decks.
Yeah,
in
who would have
Modern.
thought 1 mana 5/5 is a good card?
He's just so big.
That's one big boy.
Man, speaking of big boys, this has like kind of been a wild podcast about like
Yeah.
all over. I think it's just because like
We got
guys
some
back.
catching up
We're
to
just
do,
having
yeah.
we're just having a good time.
Yeah.
Speaking of big guys, man, snake decks.
Oh, man. GPLA. So I was telling these guys before the show, I tune into coverage for the first time, and it's just this guy named Steven playing Green Black Constrictor against some other dude. And he's just shuffling his deck.
He's
Just a
undefeated.
big meat cake guy. He's 11-2 at this point. He's just like shuffling his deck, looking all mean and pissed off, just massive biceps. Like, holy shit. This guy's playing Snake, of course he is.
Yeah, just trying to make big creatures. More stats.
Yeah, he top 8 too. Is amazing.
Yeah, dude, his player profile is the best. It's like, what would this mean to you? 8-0ing my first GP? Top 8ing my first GP? Like, he's just done. It's like, or no, it's like, what would winning this event mean to you? He's like, that green black, proving that green black Snake is the best deck in standard. He's like the only guy still playing it and just crumpling his first GP. I love that guy.
Oh man, yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, that deck's still good too. Like,
Yeah, you can still play it if you want.
I think there's the start of it is so threatening, right? Like, it's just that deck that's like, if it's 2 drops live, you're gonna get some,
Yeah.
gonna get some free wins.
Walking Ballista probably
yeah.
pretty good against Teferi decks too, like Fog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just make a big ballista.
Yeah.
Get them.
Oh, you gonna do Fog? Okay.
Put some counters on this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah.
Control Teferi's pretty easily if you have a Snake.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like they can deal with your Snake.
Yeah, they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Just don't attack.
Probably just dunked on Fog decks all weekend.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Snake might actually have a pretty good fog matchup. So yeah, it's funny. Like, this is just back to our
Yeah, it's
topic,
not like
right?
they don't play sweepers. They'll play like a Cleansing Nova in the sideboard. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
it's just funny. It goes back to what we were saying about like, although Turbo Fog didn't win, it helps shape the meta in these weird ways with its addition. And that, like, yeah, maybe decks like Snake are doing well because they have a good matchup.
I think that matchup probably just revolves around
Ballista.
Constrictor
And Ballista.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
if
interaction.
they can keep a Ballista under control, you're probably fine as Fog. But if it gets out of control, then you're dead.
Like,
Yeah, because you think about it on paper, like, that matchup's miserable. Snake can never win. But then you think about it, you're like, oh, actually, like,
because they, what are their answers? Like, I don't know if you guys said this. I wasn't listening to you, but they can tuck it with Teferi, right?
yeah.
But then you can ping the Teferi, so
Speaking of talking,
like it has to die. Like they have to
Yeah.
throw away Teferi for it.
Yeah.
did you watch the Star City team event at all?
No.
Oh, man. So, like, Jim Davis is playing blue-white control versus some guy playing Esper.
Okay.
They played 4 games in their match.
How'd they draw one?
They both Teferi tuck locked each other. They had no answers in their deck to Teferi and could both just constantly play and tuck the others of Teferi.
Oh man, that's grim.
That was
How does that like? Does a judge have to declare to draw? No, I guess the players can agree to draw.
Yeah. But like, no, it's like a restart. Like, it's just it's not a draw. Like, it's not a draw. Like, in the sense of like the next person. You know what I mean? Like,
No, right. But at any
I
point,
don't know how they did it.
at any
actually,
point,
but-
players can agree to a draw
yeah, no,
and then
oh,
play
like,
another game.
Yeah. You can just like say, "Oh, this didn't happen." I think is like basically
Because I
what
don't.
you're saying.
I mean, I don't think it's.
I don't really know the rules for that actually.
I don't think it's allowed. But like, if you, well, maybe it is allowed. But I think if you wanted, like, you and your opponent can just agree to draw game 1 and then shuffle up sideboard for
no,
game
there
2.
is a
and play 3
specific
games
ruling.
sideboard.
No, there is. I
About-
don't think you can do that with sideboarding, but
There is a very specific ruling when it comes to something like this,
Oh,
and
yeah?
I can't remember what it is, and I don't
yeah.
want to give the wrong answer.
Yeah,
Someone
okay.
will look in.
Probably
Someone
not
look
allowed,
into it.
but-
Yeah, don't trust us for this because like
Yeah.
we're not judges.
for
But
good reason.
yeah, 'cause they suck. But but yeah, like anyway, so they Teferi tuck and can't.
Yeah.
So the game's just bugged basically. So you just do nothing. They go to the next game. One wins one wins the next. And then they play and then they manage somehow in the Esper Blue White Mirror to play the 4th game and finish it
Jeez.
in turns. But yeah, it was wild.
I
man.
saw-
That game was wacky, and they all boarded in. Both of them all boarded into creatures. Like, so it was just this
Yeah.
weird. It turned into like a fish decks or like tempo decks with like bad counter spells. Like it was like tempo decks, but like their spell pierce cost 3.
Man, I saw a guy tried to tuck his own Teferi when his Teferi was at 3 on SCG. I can't remember if it was last weekend or the weekend before.
Ooh.
Yikes!
He just like
That's a
at
beating.
3, ticked it down, targeted, and tried to target itself, and then the judge came over and was like, "Oh man, put your fairy in your graveyard, dude."
Yikes.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that's just a state-based check on that one.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, because the loyalty counter there.
Yeah.
All these formats, yeah, we didn't get to say, but if you want to come fight versus Cam, I, and our ringer this coming weekend, there's a team trios event at Tower. It's been a while since there was one. They're fun as hell.
I'm not 100%. I assume it's constructed, but I didn't check.
Yeah, it could be sealed. I think it's constructed though. I asked. You said it was constructed.
You asked me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I just guessed.
Yeah. But check it out. Make sure you check out their website as well, wizardtower.com, MTG Canada. For singles, they have free shipping in Canada. There's articles, a bunch of other cool stuff, other podcasts, Commander's Brew. Yeah, be sure to check them out. Great sponsors of this podcast. Big fans, great store, great people. Shout outs to all the staff listening to this, probably trying to get these standard tips.
I can confirm it is constructed.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Registration fee of $45
Yep.
per team, which is pretty good. That's really good.
It's
Registration,
normal,
so,
like 15 per
yeah.
person.
No, I know, but like I'm just trying to think like a standard GP is $100 per person for a team event. So I'm like, well, that's pretty good. Yeah, come duke it out. It gives you player of the month points, all that reward system, everything. Good prize. Come smash Cam and I. We won't know what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. I haven't played in a while.
Well,
That's the only reason I showed up to record today is to learn what's going on in Standard.
lots of things, man.
Just do whatever, man. Just play it. Honestly, I think Standard's at the point where you should play a deck you played the most.
Yeah.
That's what even like Logan Nettles, who, they always say like, Jabberwocky and MTGO, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what he said in his interview. He's like, I just played Red Black because I played it the most. And
Yeah.
I'm just comfortable with it. And, it's a deck I
Deck's
played a
still
lot of.
great.
And I think that's what Ben Friedman played Blue Black for, was like, he helped Kevin Jones test it, I think, for the Pro Tour, right? So like,
Something like that.
they played like a lot of Blue Black, and he'd played a lot of Blue Black, and he was just like, I played an average deck for an average player. That's like what he said in his top 8, right? He's like, I'm just playing an average deck, and I played a lot.
How much longer do we have of this format? Ravnica's on October 5th?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So like
A month, basically.
a month and a half?
Like a month. Because there won't be events like the last week.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
We're almost done. We're almost.
I just want Kaladesh to be gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Man, what did the world look like when Kaladesh was released? It feels like so long ago.
I don't know, like Trump was getting elected.
Was he even president? Was he even
What was
president yet?
It was leading up to it, dude. That's when he was about
Was I
to
still
win.
in school?
I don't actually remember. That was so long ago.
Yeah, you've only been out of school for like a year.
No,
and
he
a
was
half,
winning
right?
the primaries. It
school.
was 2 years ago. Jeezy Pete's.
Yeah. I was still in school.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Holy.
Yeah, dark times for. But like, yeah, I just want Kaladesh gone. We have to do an episode where we talk about like what cards from Ixalan we'll actually see play and like, what are the, you know what I mean? I think Hostage Taker comes back.
I was
as
just
a really
going to say
powerful-
Hostage Taker is probably really good.
I think that maybe it opens up room eventually too for like the Jade Light Rangers of the world, right? Just the sort of like pretty powerful mid-range cards that have just are slightly, barely underpowered enough to win.
You know what I think we'll see? Red Green Dino Unsealing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I have a question.
I mean, the fact that Llanowar Elves is around is a huge part of what's going to happen in Standard, I think.
Do you think when Kaladesh rotates and Ravnica's released, they will unban Rampaging Ferocidon?
No, they're not going to unban anything in Standard. It's just not worth like bothering.
But like at that point, what's banned once those cards rotate? Is it just Ferocidon?
Yeah.
Like its shell is a lot weaker.
Yeah, its shell's like gone.
Arguably, you could make the same art. Like the reason they didn't ban Chain Whirler, you could argue are the same reasons to unban Ferocidon.
Yeah, I just don't think they will. Like, I think it's fine. I think unbanning I think that red is going to end up moving towards like the Flame of Keld Wizards, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what red is going to become, is like a go wide, really aggressive, fragile deck. Like it'll become a more fragile because it doesn't have Chandra. It won't be able to pivot and play in the late game. It'll be a 19 land. I think that's where red is going, is back to the traditional.
Like I could
red
see them not
lists.
unbanning it, but like that would be the time, right? Like it's lost a lot of its power. You kind of have a fresh new standard. Like this is how things should have been. It would be the only card otherwise.
Well, I mean, it depends what's in guilds. Like you don't know. Like it could be, so there's some busted red card. Like I think that's why they just don't bother. Because there's too many unknown variables.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think, I would just never bet that they're going to bother unbanning something. Because then in that admits that, like, it wasn't the card, it was the format. And I don't think they're comfortable admitting that as well.
Okay. I could see that.
You know what I mean? Because then that's saying, like, well, we can't define a format, not a card was a mistake. Because then, you know what I mean? Then they're saying, like, oh, this format was just degenerately bad. And I don't think they want to start admitting things like that. Although it was.
I just still think that was like...
From a designer perspective, that's a harsh mistake to admit.
I still don't think Frost On was a mistake.
I agree. I agree. It was just the format.
Yeah.
But if you look from anytime they've admitted mistakes, like it's always the card.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the format. It's like Stoneforge Mystic plus Batterskull was the mistake.
But they've already kind of admitted in that organized play update that, I mean, you have to read into this, but people are saying that they've admitted that they're not guaranteeing that their formats will be good because they're not announcing Pro Tour formats until like they know that they can pick something people will like to watch.
Yeah, this is like a really weird thing, hey, that they're doing in organized
Yeah,
play. I
that's
don't
true.
like it.
That also happened within the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's a bunch of news.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Of those announcements, I like that they are bringing in pro players to talk to help guide them in the future of like organized play and like pro play.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Going forward. It is interesting that, they won't be announcing Pro Tour formats.
Yeah, no, they're definitely
early as they
concerned
do.
about their ability to balance and manage formats. They're definitely concerned about it.
Yeah. But, I mean...
I wonder what happened, because, like, you guys always talk about, like, the original Ravnica era or, like, the Return to Ravnica, like, that those formats were very good. Like,
they were sweet.
Did a bunch of staff leave? Was like a bunch of turnover?
They always
or
have
like
huge turnover.
Oh, yeah?
Always. It's a garbage company to work for.
Mm.
They pay low, work long hours. Like, their pay is horrible. You know, their programmers get paid less than most other programs. Like, this is just, like, facts available on the internet, right? Like,
I've never looked into employment at WotC.
I only know because Ted did.
Mm.
And it was just like, wow, I've never worked that job for, like, that pay. That's insane. So, because they get people who are fans of the game who want to work there and are willing to work for less, right? So, no, it's not a good company to work for. Like, I have no problem saying that. It's just, of course, like, if they can pay people less than what they are worth, like, why would you not?
So these formats were just unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, depends. I know that, like, Jerry was involved partially in this.
Was he?
Yeah, he helped design, like, Amonkhet and whatever, I'm pretty sure.
No, I thought Collins was his last set.
Oh, yeah, it was Collins. You're right.
Collins,
Oh,
yeah.
it's the other guy from the game podcast.
Michael Majors and Andrew Brown.
Yeah, they designed these sets. That's what it was. They did a good job on cards. They, for sure, like, at least pointed out.
Yeah.
Like, Thrashing Brontonon, I know, was, like, a big part of Major's design philosophy, right? But
that card is sweet.
Yeah, and, like, they built a Carnage Tyrant, though, which is, like, pretty obnoxious.
Andrew Brown designed that card.
Yeah, because they asked him, right? They said on coverage, they're like, sign something control players we just hate. Just like,
Here you go.
Okay, that was easy.
very funny. And then it just, like, never sees play until recently. Pretty funny. I think that card after rotation going to be maybe an issue.
Like, what would be more hateful to control? Some sort of, like, do-nothing enchantment that has a cast trigger that gives you an emblem that if anything you control gets countered, that a person loses. Like, it's like that and then Carnage Tyrant. Those are, like, the top two things.
Carnage Tyrant's not that bad. It's pretty obnoxious, though, yeah. I mean, that's what you get for trying to go slow.
It gives them one out. Like, you have to play Wraths.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to for some reason, then you just lose.
Yeah. Yeah, Esper Deck's just dead. That's why I'm saying, man. That's why I mainboard, what's it called now? Eldest Reborn in my Esper deck. I think it's really good. Just play like 2 copies main.
Do you find that deck's clunky?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like if you don't kind of like curve out in the sense of like Essence Scatter your dude or like Fatal Push, whatever, disallow your next thing, Vraska's Contempt that to Fairy. And then just like from there it's over, right? Like if you curve out, it's over and no one can ever win. But if you don't, like if they have 2 creatures on the board and you can't kill, like you can only cast 1 or 2 spells per turn, you're done. Because that deck can't catch up. That's the problem of not playing Wraths in Esper, right? That's what, like, it's so awkward, but the deck also just does have free wins of that curve where, like, you play against people and you just counter that thing, counter this thing, slam to Fairy on an empty board, game over.
I just don't think that changing the mana base slightly and playing some Fumigates disrupts your free win draws that much. And it lets you win those, like, oh, I fell behind and traditionally would lose this game because of it.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think if I were playing that in Esper, I'd put them in the board because you only want them in some matchups.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like a lot of matchups right now in Standard, you don't really need Fumigate, but there are some where you just need it or you're gonna lose. Like Galta decks, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You just need it or you're dead.
Yeah.
And like them playing a bunch of Blossoming Defense is like actually makes the matchup pretty bad for you.
Oh yeah.
Like when I was playing that bug list that top 8'd the GP, you know, that's why I was like, oh my god, like this, I see why this deck is good. It has a really good control matchup. Like I play versus Esper, just have a bunch of Blossoming Defense. I can't do anything. Just slam Scarab God. Game ends. You know, it's really good. Blossoming Defense is insane versus Esper. But and then I was telling you, right? Like I played against a Esper deck and I was just dumped my hand because I was like, oh, what's this idiot gonna do? Vraska's contempt one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they just untapped and fumigated me. And I was like, oh.
Oh, that's what they'll do.
Rip. I just instant conceded. I was like, oh. Didn't expect. Yeah. They just play Wraths if they're really worried. But yeah, no, the deck is definitely clunky. But when it has a smooth draw, whew, it's just such a clean, clean, efficient. When its mana works out and it lines up, it's so good. Like it's so powerful. If you can get lucky with that deck, like it just can beat everything, no problem.
Yeah, it's obviously very capable of winning events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just Torrential Gearhulk is just so good. Just so incredibly good. Like obviously, like I don't need to talk about how good Teferi is, but like, yeah, like that's the reason to play Esper, right? Is like Torrential Gearhulk's just demented. Like the card's so good. A lot of decks just lose to it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just such a fast, efficient win con. Like it kills people so quickly. Yeah. And like the splash is pretty easy with Aether Hub, like and Torrential letting you cast Glimmer. Like the mana's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a problem ever casting white spells. I mean, the only white spell in my deck is Teferi, but
Yeah. Like I still contend that the mana is fine as like a hard 3-color deck. So I
mean, it is. It's
definitely
not a contention. It's
no,
a fact.
but I definitely believe that just the splash is like not an issue at all.
I agree. I mean,
And so does everyone else.
Ran it on the simulator. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's crazy. Like people still play Blue-Eyed Approach. You know, old Bert and Cheaty did it.
I want a GP.
He did his time. I don't know if you're allowed to use that pun anymore.
The old Bert and Cheaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so good. What do you want from me?
It just rolls off the tongue, man.
It just sounds so good.
Yeah.
Gotta say it. That guy packed on some LBs too. Did you see his profile?
Yes, I did.
Do you see a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Holy.
It took you a sec to realize what I was saying.
Yeah. It was so funny though, that top 8 picture is just like hidden in the background and all you can see is his face.
Yeah.
Poking over their shoulder.
Creeping
Man,
over.
People were mad.
Oh, people are riled.
Yeah.
I think reasonably so, I suppose.
I mean, sure.
I kind of want him to win the Pro Tour.
I really wanted him to win that GP, I'm not lying.
I kind of did too.
Just to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
The drama would have been too good.
Right. Like, that's why. I just want some pitchforks and some blood, you know? some
give it to him.
burning at the stake.
Oh, man. We're going to see him back on the next Pro Tour as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I wanted to win it.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just trying to, I said, yeah, as in, if he makes it that far. Like, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, if
people don't find
get
some
a
way to
band
get
or
him
like
banned,
find some,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I will be surprised if, you know, but I'm pretty sure at the Pro Tour when he plays, they're just going to have a judge literally just follow him. That's his job. Like, that judge's job for the day is to just follow this guy and watch everything he does. Because, like, otherwise, man, people will just riot.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, you kind of have
People
to.
are already rioting.
He's such a, like, known cheater, or, like, you know what I mean? That, is it really, like, if I was playing against him at the PT, I'd be like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not playing against this guy unless there's a judge here literally the entire time.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not confident. It's unfair. It's unfair for me to have to play against this guy at, like, the Pro Tour because, like,
That's probably just like an interesting logistical thing that like the judge staff should designate someone, not because they are being biased towards Alex, but because everybody would call a judge anyway.
exactly. He's like a probation officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Man.
wild.
You know what games you never hear about cheating in? Hearthstone. Man, imagine.
Can't cheat on MTG Arena.
Yeah.
I hear about
Or
stream snipers all
Magic
the time.
Online.
Can't cheat online, guys. All this
Rip
all this
paper
drama.
magic.
All this drama,
Yeah,
man.
to me though, it's like I I like it. Like I like paper Magic for this. Like for this kind of different than like a digital game, and it's like I like the act of shuffling.
I don't know.
I like my opponents being salty IRL. You know what I mean? Like I like people throwing their decks against the wall. You know,
Yeah,
I like.
fair.
I like that you can stand up and flex in front of your opponent and you smash them. Not that I did that, sorry. It's just I don't want listeners to think I would do that. Someone else did that. Someone to someone.
Yeah.
After he beat him. This guy stood up and flexed.
Yeah, I was in Toronto having dinner.
I'm still laughing
and
about that, dude.
I was there for nationals, and so I'm like having dinner with a bunch of Magic players, and like all at once, like kind of within like 10 seconds, people's phone starts going off, and it's like this story about how this guy like won a match and just stood up and flexed, like locally.
Made the other guy so mad he threw his deck against the wall. Dude, that's the kind of stuff. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me ticking. That's why. That's why I play.
That's why we play Magic.
That's why I play the game.
Yeah.
Lord, let me die in the iodine state.
All right.
Someone's got to mine this salt.
We've derailed. Thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs. Free shipping on singles in Canada. Great store, great content. Love those guys. Check them out. If you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on Facebook at the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast or on Twitter at DWC Podcast 1. Shoot us a message. Leave us a like. You know, we love hearing from people. If there's anything you want us to clear up that we talked about or anything you want us to talk about on the show, let us know. And however you listen to this podcast, whether it's on Podbean, iTunes, any podcast app, leave us a review, rate the podcast, share it with your friends. Everything helps this thing keep growing.
Oh, also shout outs to all the multiple listeners who it's been a hot minute, who messaged us about throwing a Geth to explain how dumb we are. And like, I don't know why I couldn't think of it. And then I asked my friend Dylan independently, why they play this card? And he just thinks for 2 seconds and goes, Chalice? And I'm like, huh, I'm an idiot. And then I asked Ryan thinking like, well, Dylan must have seen this before.
Yeah.
And then I asked Ryan, like, okay, this one, he's like, what does that card do? And I tell him what it does. And he goes, oh, Chalice. And I'm like, huh. Guess Alex and I are just actually
stupid.
We're just so dumb. Like,
I mean, in my defense, I don't play Legacy, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, like, those two don't even play anymore. Period.
Yeah.
The only time I interact with Chalice is hearing people talk about it on Twitter.
Oh, about like,
Oh man, there was
cheating?
more drama about that too.
Yeah.
That was great. Well, that was just an issue of people being illiterate or being unable to read, which, you know, reading is impossible. So
Can't confirm. Reading
the
very
card
hard.
can't do that.
No
that's,
way.
that's ridiculous. I don't know what that card does.
You expect me to read a card? Come on, man.
I have my phone set to read everything to me.
Man, so another solution, Magic Digital. Cards just do their effects when you play them.
Yeah, you just
You don't have to know
click
what
and
it does.
drag.
Yeah.
It just does stuff.
I don't need to know what my opponent's cards do.
You
It'll
could
just
even
do
put it to text to speech, maybe, like you know, optimize your computer for you know,
Yeah.
the readingly challenged.
All right. We'll catch you all next week.
Bye.
Later.